Hey, this is Mike McAdam for GenX Guitar. Today I'm going to talk about why Motley Crue is the greatest hair metal band of all time. Be strong, shout at the devil, and hang around and find out why. Okay, so I'm preaching to the choir here, but let me establish a couple of ground rules. First off, Van Halen in my universe is not a hair metal band. They are kind of the godfathers of all that, maybe responsible for a bit of it, but I don't consider them a hair metal band. Neither is Kiss. Kiss is extra special, a Godfather band. Although Kiss weirdly became a hair metal band or like a B-rate hair metal band in the 80s. More on that later. So I'm going to make an argument why I think Motley Crue is the best hair metal band of all time. Are they my favorite band from that era? No. But I think Motley Crue had a superpower that separated them from the other bands. They simply wrote the best songs. I think Nikki Sixx, as far as in that genre, is an excellent songwriter. Those tunes have held up really, really well. I also think Motley Crue had an aesthetic that was a little different from the other bands. If you look at the kind of the prototype, like post Van Halen LA band, you had the super hot guitarist, the flamboyant lead singer. Motley Crue had this weird dynamic where, Vince Neil wasn't a top shelf David Lee Roth frontman. He was in that mold, but you had Tommy Lee, who is a very extroverted, wild personality on the drums, Nikki Sixx, and then you had Mick Mars, who was kind of, the focus was off him a little bit. So the dynamics of the band were interesting. Motley Crue was also phenomenal at kind of controlling the press narrative on them, right? They were these bad boys, supposedly, all the stuff that's in the dirt. They really kind of set the tone for that. And then album by album, they slightly switched up their image a little bit. And they always seemed a little bit ahead of the pack as far as what they were doing. I really have to hand it to them. The way they sort of managed their career and navigated a lot of this really put them ahead of a lot of the other bands. And again, I think the songs really stand up. One of the things of a lot of stereotypical hair metal bands, I'll take Dokken, for example, or Rat. The songs weren't always great, but they had cool guitar riffs and the guitar solos were awesome. And those were kind of the key points of the songs, where I think Motley Crue was a little different. If I look at Mick Mars as a guitar player, he didn't really have that kind of post-Eddie Van Halen sound to him. He had more of a 70s type guitar player sound. But I think a lot of his riffs and tone have held up pretty well throughout the years. So I think they hit a lot of aesthetics and, they played it up to the T. But that's why I would vote Motley Crue as the best hair metal band of all time. Of course, we're going to have a lot of opinions on this, so let's get into it in the comments. In the meantime, if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. It helps the channel grow and allows us to keep talking about Motley Crue and other silly bands. So in the meantime, my name is Mike from GenX Guitar. I'll see you in the next video. I think Poison, you can make an argument, is the second best hair metal band. And to maybe a lot of people define that genre like they're the first band you think of when you say hair metal. I just think Motley Crue had better tunes, were a little more dynamic. They navigated their career better than Poison, because Poison they kind of tried to veer a little bit. They had that song Something to Believe In, and I think when they got off the Party Time image stuff, it started to get a little muddy. Where Motley Crue, they had the We Pretend We Worship the Devil thing with Shout at the Devil, and they went glam with Theater of Pain and kind of got away from that and started doing the motorcycle thing with Girls, Girls, Girls. Like, I think they were better at kind of setting the next, turning the page for their image, where Poison kind of got trapped by that, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, wasn't Guns N' Roses hair metal for a bit? Or not metal, but hair rock?
Okay, Guns N' Roses have this weird thing where they were never really considered hair metal. But if you look at early photos, even the Welcome to the Jungle video, like Axl has like a very hair metal haircut.
Teased to the ceiling.
Yeah. But they ditched that quickly. So they were maybe on the periphery of that a little bit, but Guns N' Roses to me they get lumped in, but they weren't really a hair metal band to me. I think Quiet Riot kind of got that whole party started, but I just think, if you compare them song by song, band by band, I don't think they measure up. Quiet Riot really only had that Metal Health album.
Yeah.
Like everything after that was kind of like, not the same quality.
Had Becky throw on 17 by Winger.
Yeah.
You know, and that fucking guy's guitar playing is insane.
It's awesome.
Like,
Solo,
it's crazy.
solo at the end of that song is so good. It's really awesome.
I don't like you know how like a lot of you can hear licks and you're like okay I got what that is.
Yeah.
Like he was playing some stuff. I'm like I don't even know what that is. Like it's
Yeah.
I don't know. He's really good.
No, he's great. And the problem with that era is there were so many good players that you do listen back to some of these guys and you're like, wow, okay, that guy kind of overlooked him a little bit. I mean, Headed for Heartbreak,
Yeah.
that's a great tune. And the solo at the end of it's killer.